Hi kids, story number 2 of if you see something, say something. So this story has to do with something I witnessed about probably 20 years ago. My sister lived in a town in Illinois. She had one young son at the time. She has 4 now. And I was going past a grade school. And I look over and all the kids were outside at recess and I see a young girl, little girl, in a wheelchair. She's all by herself on the playground. And all the other kids are everywhere else, but not by her. And you could just see the teachers are kind of doing their own thing. They weren't really supervising too well. And I was driving past. It was like a small neighborhood, and the grade school was right there. Anyway, I pulled over and I just observed it for a minute. There were these other kids pointing at this girl in the wheelchair, this little girl. You could tell they were bullying or they were saying nasty things. Teachers aren't even paying attention. It was just so wrong. Number one, why wasn't this little girl included to play with other kids, which this teacher should have got involved and said, everybody play together. And then why were these kids allowed to pick on her and nobody's watching this? You could just see. So I got out of my car. If you see something, say something. I got out of my car. I walked up to the playground or the schoolyard. They're probably like, who is this crazy lady? I said, hey, my nephew goes to school here and I just rode past and I'm witnessing, do you even know what's going on out here? I said, these kids are picking on this little girl, this handicapped little girl, and you two are over here chatting about probably your dating life or something unimportant, and these kids are being unsupervised. So anyway, they were kind of like, what? They were young. They walked over, kind of assessed the situation. They're like, oh, we didn't see that. I'm sorry, we didn't know. I said, this little girl's being isolated out here. Nobody's being her friend. That should not be allowed. You know, everybody should be playing together. And then also, they're kind of saying nasty things to her. I can tell by their body language and the little girl's reaction. She just looked like she was used to it or something. I mean, these kids had to be like somewhere between 5 and 7 or something like that. It was just a wrong situation. So I said something. If you see something, say something. I don't know what happened with that, but I just remember thinking, how horrible. That poor little girl's going through this, and the teachers who are supposed to be out there supervising are doing nothing. If I wouldn't have got out and said something, it would have continued. Anyway, makes me upset, clearly. So anyway, if you see something, say something, because you might make a difference.